Welcome to the next episode of the Explore podcast. I am Sam Householder, Communications Manager here at Elkhart Public Library, and with me as always is
Trevor Wenzonka, Chief Marketing Officer.
All right, and let's just get into it. We're right here in the middle of summer. The summer heat is on.
Yes, it is.
And it is a great time to come into the library to cool off. I think that we have a lot of great resources for families just looking to get out of the heat, even if you just come in, pick out some books to read during the hottest part of the day. And, there's great activities going on all summer long.
Or if you're heading off to the beach, and I don't know why you would, just come in and get some stuff, take it with you, enjoy the summer.
That's right.
The sun will be gone soon enough.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it'll be gone before we know it. School will be here before we know it. And, the summer reading challenge has just finished up here in the last couple of days, but it's been another great summer for that. We want to shout out our presenting sponsor, Ranger Distribution and Froggy 1027 for helping us put on just another great summer reading challenge. More records. I mean, we're happy to see that in marketing.
What was it with 5-6 weeks still to go in the challenge?
Mm-hmm.
We surpassed last year's numbers, and that's what we're always looking for is, making sure that we're reaching out to the community. The community knows that they can get value here, and of course we can always help kids keep their reading skills up during the summer.
Exactly, and that's what it's all about. And the community responded, and the kids have done the work. They earned the rewards, and we're all going to celebrate Thursday, July 17th, 3 to 6 p.m., McNaughton Park, our summer reading prize party. This really is the party of the summer. We really go all out for this. What are you looking forward to?
It's just always our biggest event. So,
Mm-hmm.
There's always so many familiar faces, people that you haven't really gotten to connect with through the summer. They come out to the party. We had more than 700 last year, I think, at Tolson Center, and this year we'll be at McNaughton Park, bounce houses, just lots of fun and games for the kids. And we get the fun job. We get to hand out all the really cool prizes at the end. So that's always something to look forward to. As well.
This year the grand prize is an Indiana Dinosaur Museum Experience package, but there's lots of other great prizes, Razor scooters, a set of Diary of a Wimpy Kid books,
Squishmallow. You can't go wrong.
All the kids want the Squishmallows. My daughter can't win, but that's what she would want to win, but she doesn't need more stuffed animals. Hope you're listening, Ashley. This is the party of the summer, so don't miss out on that. Again, 3 to 6 p.m., McNaughton Park, Thursday, July 17th. We're gonna have food trucks, the splash pads right there, petting zoo. It's gonna be for sure the party of the summer.
And I think staff gets a kick out of it too.
Yeah.
Because it's a day out of the office, and it's a lot of work, but it's a lot of fun watching the kids run around and have a good time. Yeah,
and that's what it's all about. It really is this celebration of not just the kids that read, but the whole community can really come together and enjoy time together. And it is always a highlight. It is an exhausting day for us, but it's always well worth it, in my opinion.
Yeah. And kids deserve to let go, have a fun day. They will have read by the time, we stop counting the numbers, more than 80,000 books through the summer. And that's just an incredible stat.
Yeah, absolutely. And it is awesome. And especially, we talk about the signups too, but I think it's like right now hovering around 90% of people that even signed up have logged some amount of reading, and that's just awesome to see too. The summer reading challenge just gets bigger and bigger every year, and we couldn't do it without our community, and so this is a celebration of that. So I really hope to see everyone out there, and it's just a great time.
Yeah, can we shout out like Freshies and
of course,
Taco Bell, Chick-fil-A? These are places around town that are just helping us out and getting kids in their door, handing them some good stuff, and that's community coming together right there.
Yeah, absolutely. And so yeah, Taco Bell, like you said, Freshies, Chick-fil-A, Vanilla Bean Creamery. I mean, just a lot of local businesses, Secret Door Games,
Mini Delights.
They've all come to play. Bird in the Hand. I mean, it just goes on, and we're just always looking for new partners and getting those things that kids are excited about to keep reading for. Tropicana ice cream, they just keep coming to my mind, doesn't it? But so it's been awesome to see, and it's so great for the community, and we thank those businesses for partnering with us and giving back to the community and the kids.
Yeah, we also had a new one in the Tier 3 rewards this year, Hall of Heroes Museum.
Yeah, that's right. And they'll be coming.
Get a pass, go see some superheroes and movie props and comic books and all sorts of things down there.
Yeah, that's right. And speaking of Hall of Heroes, they'll be coming soon to our experience passes if they're not there already, and that's going to be coming real quick, and we couldn't be more excited about that. So it was great to get them in the door with the summer reading rewards, and now they'll be available just like the Potawatomi Zoo passes, some of the other museum experiences. So that's also great news for families looking to do something late this summer.
Yeah, and they're all free to check out. Just hit our website, look for experience passes, enter your library card number, and you can, just go see some things that maybe you haven't experienced. And yes, there are indoor options.
Yes.
If the heat still hasn't broken, you could go to the art museum or Ruth Mere.
Yeah.
But you could also take a walk around Wellfield and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of fun.
It is. It's and it's something that I hear from families that they're just constantly excited about. So it's really great. And we're always looking to try and add more local attractions to that and make it an even greater value for the community and for the museums around here. Transitioning a little bit to Curbside Concerts is in the middle of their summer break. It'll be coming back late August. You can always get the details on that, myapl.org/curbside. But you've been working on a new indoor concert series for the summer here, and it'll continue into the fall. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so in our 6th year of Curbside Concerts, people saw that we were doing good things out on the roof. But of course, we have to take a break during the heat of the summer too, because it's just too hot to put up bands and have that kind of production, in the hot summer sun. So what we're doing is we're coming inside. We'll be right here in this space actually, with some songwriter rounds, and what those are 3 or 4 musicians. Stools and guitars, on a black backdrop. I mean, it is really an intimate kind of night. You get to see songwriters in a different way. They're playing their song solo, but they're also telling you the story about how they created that song and what went into it. So, hoping to put together 4 of these events, across summer. We'll start July 18th. We'll go to August 8th, Friday nights here at the downtown library. They're free to attend. We will have the bar open. But it should be a lot of fun because these folks, they collaborate, they write these songs together, they're all friends, so it should be just a good time and getting able to see them in a different way.
Yeah, and most of them, I think, have played the rooftop before, a couple of them, with a band, but it'll be nice to see them again, in a different way, kind of on their own, and a peek behind the artistic curtain of how a song comes together. And musicians all have great stories to tell too, and I think that'll be fun for people to hear, stories from the road or from the good gigs, the bad gigs, whatever it is, and all those things that make their lives colorful.
Yeah, and we tried to pick some local folks, names that you'll know, to come in and be the hosts for the evening. And of course, they're in their own right very good songwriters as well. But Nikisha, Alexis will kick us off on the 18th. We'll have Abby Thomas, Rafael Chavez, hosting one of these. And really, what we're just trying to do is help creative people, and give them an audience here at the library, because that's what we should do, is build that kind of community and that creativity up around here. So looking forward to it. We'll do 4 this summer. We'll come back on first Fridays starting in October and have a different round of hosts. And every night will be unique. That'll be another thing that I'm looking forward to, is you're not going to hear the same story twice.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so Stories and Songs starting this Friday, so definitely come check that out right here in the downtown library. And the next thing that we're always working on in marketing, we're always one quarter ahead with Explore magazine. So that'll be coming out, hitting mailboxes right around August 1st, we're hoping. And so you and I have just been wrapping up this issue, and I know I worked on some back to school stuff. I looked at the Growing Readers program now, and it's I should have put it in my notes, 3rd, 4th year. And I went back and found some of the earliest graduates and kind of just to follow up with them, what got them in the door then when this program was, crawling out, and where those kids are now. And it's been awesome to hear back from the families that this program really has made a difference in their kids' lives, and they now are thriving readers. They're passing the iRead with flying colors. They love reading. They're reading beyond their grade level, a lot of them. And so that was one fun story to tell in this next Explore. And the other back to school thing was the middle school. What a time middle school is for kids. And so I talked to a few middle school counselors and just got, what are the expectations for middle schoolers, and what's difficult for students, what's difficult for those parents that have to, let go a little bit sometimes and let their kids start to transition into young adulthood and take more responsibility.
What do you do if you're a counselor and a parent?
Right, yes. Yeah. And that was kind of the hook for this story. So that was a fun one to tell, a little bit different. And, middle school is hard. And one of the best questions I asked each of the folks I talked to was, why middle school? Why do you choose to work at middle school? And they all, to a T, said, everybody asks me that because they know that middle schoolers are at a very difficult time in their lives, and sometimes that they can get the reputation for being the toughest to deal with. But they all find the work so rewarding, and it's inspiring, I think, and sort of noble to see that these people really do love their work, and they love the students, and they care about the students that they're working with. And even if it's helping them navigate a passing period or a locker combination, that's what it's all about.
Yeah, so much change, and you'll get there in parenting. It's just every level is unique. Middle school was definitely the toughest as a parent to navigate, and I think one of the things in reading your story was to know that there are resources out there, people that you can talk to that can help you navigate that and make it easier, I guess, for the family and for the student, because there's a lot of change. You got elementary school down and you figured that one out because you were there for 6 years or whatever, but you get to middle school and it's a whole different ballgame.
Right. And, locally, 2 different public school districts that we serve here at Elkhart Public Library, and Concord, they have the intermediate school and the middle school, and then Elkhart, they're in the middle of transitioning a grade 2 middle school that previously wasn't. So just a lot of change for students locally that I think really brought that story together. One of the stories you worked on was the Truth in Our History, talking about the history of time.
Yes, yes. It was not a short story, that's for sure.
No.
Hoosiers love to debate what time it is, whether that's Eastern or Central or daylight savings and all of that. And the fun part of this one for me, I guess, was having been there, having been a reporter at that time, knowing these players, that got daylight savings time approved in 2005, having seen, I guess, through a reporter's eyes, what elected officials were struggling with, in this whole debate, because it really was a hot potato that only Governor Daniels wanted to see it done, because everybody else was kind of conflicted, and lived kind of in that 50-50 range of, I'm going to make 50% of the population mad with whatever I decide. But it was a lot of fun to look back, and there's also some really great history in there too. Some things that even I didn't know about the time difference between Elkhart and St. Joe counties for a while in the 60s, and some of the I guess the lobbying efforts that were done by the newspaper here in the 80s to really just protect time for whatever it is. But the point is, we still only have 24 hours in a day.
Yeah.
So let's spend it arguing.
Right. And I think it is a uniquely Indiana story. I mean, maybe Arizona is like the only other one known, to go waffle back and forth, but they've really been pretty set in stone for a long time. Whereas Indiana, I think, with the conflicting proximity to the East Coast, and then a whole section of the state's proximity to Illinois, it does make it a uniquely Hoosier issue. And it was fun to look at that story and learn things. Like, one of my favorite parts was that there was a mandated by law clock in every city hall or in county building around the state, and it was mandated to be a time, so locally it was an hour different.
Yes.
And
one clock. We just had to have one clock by law.
Yes.
That was a good one to unearth.
Yeah.
Because I had no idea as I started digging into this, what on earth I was going to find, and to know that really people argue this issue today, because you still have people, I don't like to change my clock, and that argument was no different than what it was in 2005 when we voted, when our legislature voted to change the clock, and then no different than it was in the 60s or during World War II or any of those. I mean, it's just, it's one of those debates that's never going to be settled.
No, absolutely not. And one of the best quotes towards the end is opinions are like time zones. Everyone has one.
That is correct.
And finally, one of the other stories coming up in this next Explore issue is a local woman, Pam Kling. She goes to our Cleveland branch. She's been a resident up there for most of her life, nearly 60 years. She got inspired by a library book she checked out and has been going around the state to make some drawings in each county. And it's a really unique project. It's a very personal project, but I found her story really interesting, and I'm glad that she was willing to share it with us. And it's really cool because she's mixing local history with personal history, trying to find things to draw in each county that mean something to her, and if she doesn't have a personal connection to the county, that something historical. And it's just one of those things that you stumble across and you realize what the library can do for lots of different folks.
Yeah, library's always full of interesting people.
Mm-hmm.
It's just how willing are they to sit down and tell you, what that story is. And Pam certainly has an interesting one, and I thought it was kind of cool, to even just to set that goal, that you're going to go to every county and find something, and be moved enough to want to put pen to paper and I guess, build a memory. You know, I guess you can look at it that way. And I just thought the whole thing was great, and the fact that she was inspired, you know, to do this by finding a book at the library, and you know, that's what makes the magazine interesting, I think, is that we get to and makes our jobs interesting. We get to find this kind of stuff and tell that story.
Yeah, and so I have talked to her, and we're hoping to beginning of next year maybe plan a little art show at the Cleveland branch and display some of what she's done. And yeah, so I look forward to everyone seeing that one in the magazine. That's going to be a really fun one. And finally, I also talked to Chuck Drake, who is a descendant of the famous Drake's Department Store here in town. He, you know, moved away for about the better part of 30, 40 years, and you know, was able to sort of start reconnecting with Elkhart through a Facebook group. And now he's moved back here in retirement, and he's just having all kinds of fun digging into his family history. And you know, I when I started talking to him, I didn't even realize he was part of that Drake family. But so yeah, he just has a very personal connection to, like I said, downtown Story. Really, his family store was here for a long time, and he's a great storyteller, and he knows a lot of the people that really made this city back in the 60s and 70s, and so that was another cool one to dive into.
Yeah, I got the sense that he's just a true character, you know, and yeah, he'd seen a lot, he knows a lot of people, and I think it's fun because you get to learn a little bit more about who's behind some of these Facebook groups, and I grew up in Elkhart. I mean, what's their following? You know, in the
tens of thousands.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's you know, who's putting up those posts? You know, who's taking the time to do that research and to tell that story? Because what's great about that is just the engagement it builds. You know, all the comments that come alongside that, and the people that either went to that store or knew him, you know, and all of that. It just, I think that's one of the things that makes communities unique, is that those stories can be told and retold, and they don't really get old.
Right.
You know, and if you're like Paul Thomas and you outlive everybody, then you get to tell the story, and it's absolutely true.
Right.
Because nobody's there to argue against you.
Absolutely.
So that's what makes, I think, just downtown Elkhart and the city on the whole just so great.
Yeah, absolutely. And it was really cool to learn a little bit more about the store. And, you know, he was there for the famous fire in the 50s, and then they moved to, you know, they had a Concord Mall store, they had one at Easy Shopping Place, and yeah, just a uniquely Elkhart story. And he comes here and pulls from our microfilm to share things in the group, and it just ties back to how the library really is part of telling the history of this community.
And I know by going through that microfilm, you got to have some time to do that.
Absolutely, yeah, I've done that too. It's fun. It's really fun. I mean, honestly, if you like history at all, but it is time consuming to find the dates you're looking for when you're looking for a specific date, and not get sidetracked by the new Oldsmobiles were in early this year, that type of thing. Like
the rabbit holes are the best ones.
Yeah. Oh wow. Like yeah. Oh, new fashions. Yeah. And then I didn't know that was going on at this time. Anyway, yeah. So it's always a good time up on the reference floor. But yeah, so other things to talk about. You know, we got some great events coming up in the early part of August here. The Picnic in the Park Storytime is back Friday, August 8th at Cobus Creek. That's Miss Rhonda from Cleveland branch. She hosts an outdoor story time. You can bring your lunch and enjoy the beautiful county park there for an outdoor story time. Stories in the Gardens is also another outdoor story time on Tuesdays at Wellfield Gardens, 5 p.m. That's hosted by a rotating cast of our children's staff, and Tuesday is a free day at Wellfield for county residents. So always a good time to get out there and see their beautiful new facility now that that is finally done and open. Additionally, there's a sensory play day downtown on August 1st if you're not wanting to go outside again in the heat. And that's a fun hour of just chaos and mess here, and you don't have to clean it up. You don't have to clean it up, and that's what we tell people. Bring your kids, let them make a mess, and we'll worry about cleanup here at the library. That's what we do for you. And then the last thing I want to mention is Oslo will be doing a throwback theater series, and it kicks off August 21st. They're showing The Princess Bride, the beloved family movie.
Never saw it.
Yeah, I think I've seen it.
It was made in the 80s.
Yeah. We're the worst people to talk about it because I've seen it once, but yeah.
I think I've heard of these movies.
Yes, yeah. But yeah, so just lots of great things coming up this summer as we get closer to the start of the school year. But again, it's a great time to visit the library, myapl.org/signup if you don't have a card, or just come in, see what we're all about. Find an activity. You don't need a card to show up to a story time or go to a movie showing or whatever.
Come on a Friday night, listen to some music.
Yeah, absolutely right. We're here for everyone, for families, and it's just a great way to get out this summer and enjoy time together. Yeah,
and I'd rather be inside doing this than to be outside this summer.
Yeah, I will not be. Yeah, our other podcast is filming outside, and that's on them, man.
That's right.
we'll be inside.
Good luck.
Yep. I'm nice and cool. But yeah, so thanks for watching, everyone, and we'll talk to you next month, I guess.
See ya.
See ya.